What's up, people? Today is October 29th, 2019. I have not been able to post stuff on YouTube for my quote unquote daily video journal. You know, anyway, just I don't even want to get into it. It's just somewhat a little challenging during the nights now. But maybe I'll start doing it now and reflect back from the day before. Anyhow, cut. So today I wanted to share and talk about the importance of having a harmonious family. What does that mean, having a harmonious family? Well, based off of Buddhism, and then what I practice, Nichiren Buddhism, with the Soka Gakkai, we have 5 guidelines, right, in life, and it's kind of interesting, cool. It's really cool because this is something I wish I had when I was growing up, because you know how some people go, I wish I had a roadmap for life. Well, this is a roadmap for living an awesome life. No kidding. And it's really basic. And it's basic, simple, and it's really just easy to understand. So anyhow, the first guideline to the Soka Gakkai is faith for harmonious family. That's extremely simple. What does that mean? It means that because we live in such a big world, and our family itself is a miniature world, right? So, or miniature society. So, if we can create harmony within our family life, then that just extends itself to your community, to the world, right? And maybe the universe, create harmony with the aliens. But here's the thing, my background, in my family, we're all really straightforward people, right? And it's really interesting to when you begin a relationship with somebody, you have 2 people with different type of karma, different types of baggage, right? We bring into the relationship, and the importance of being able to sift through that and being able to let that baggage go. In being able to let that baggage go, in your environment, is essential. So for instance, if I had this, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, also because I'm driving. If I had this when I was younger, I'd be able to let all that stuff go, right? But because of certain things that pop up, karma, right? Certain things that have affected me, that I've seen, such as like my parents, or how my family reacts to each other. If I haven't fully accepted it and let that go, triggers, what we call devilish functions, pop up, and it can affect and run the way you think during an argument, right? So, for instance, last night had one of those days with my wifey, and our son was just watching us, and this is one of those moments where we were really aware of what we were saying, but at the same time, like, all this stuff, just we couldn't control ourselves, right? And our 20-month old son, oops, hold on a second, let me see if I can do this. The lighting just got weird in here. the 20-month old son, he started to try to, do things to appease us, and it was really interesting to watch, right? And at the same time, we still couldn't control ourselves, right? And it was nuts. Anyway, it got to a point. Where, oh man, jeez, it got to a point where I just, I've done this plenty of times, but it got to a point where I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna leave, right? I'm just gonna leave. And I've done this many times. It was almost like a threat, right? And then a split second, just observing myself, observing my wife, observing my son, it hit me. There was this moment when I was a kid, maybe around, I don't know, maybe around like 12 or 13. My parents were fighting, and my brother and I were just doing our thing, and it got to the point where I got pretty heated up, where my dad just like stormed out towards the front door, and my mom had just sort of just, like, where the fuck are you going, and my dad would just like, well, I'm leaving, and this went on back and forth, and I came out and wanting to, create harmony, like, hey, guys, let's not fight anymore, and my dad was, still threatening to like take off. My mom was like, well, why don't you just fucking leave, and this shit just like went back and forth, and although things, dust settled, and everything was cool after that, was a major moment in my life that sort of tainted the way I saw relationships, right? And I completely forgot about it. And but the funny thing is, like, my wifey and I, like, we've had these arguments before, and I was aware of it, and I would see this like picture in the background of my mind going, and but it was like it sort of took control of me, and I just unconsciously let it run me, right? And so anyway, I'm just babbling on right now, but anyway, so basically yesterday was the first time where I just completely noticed what was going on, and I immediately just shifted my perspective, and I apologized to my wife, to my son, and I thanked my son for being patient, so anyway, going back to the first guideline, Faith for Harmonious Family. So there's really 3 bullet points of creating faith for a harmonious family, and that is, the first one is to be the brightest person in the room, right? I'm sort of paraphrasing here, but be the brightest person, right? Some people might be having a bad day, but your light can come in and change everything, to just shine the light on the darkness, if you will. And sometimes that's not easy to do, especially when 2 people are overwhelmed, or not feeling happy, or maybe just haven't communicated for a while, right? And that's the first bullet point. The second bullet point is that President Ikeda calls it the karmic bonds, and I mean, in Buddhism, really, it's just a karmic bond, right? And I thought about the karmic bond, and what I realized what the karmic bond was, with the karmic ties, are these patterns, these thoughts, these experiences that are interwoven into our connections with each other. So, my wife and I have been together for years. You have relationships with your parents and your siblings, and those you have these patterns, these connections, these experiences, these memories between you guys, between all of us, and those are the karmic bonds. So what bullet point number 2 is just realize that there are these karmic bonds and be aware of them, right? And be ready to cut them off when they're not working for you, right? So that's the second one. The third one is to always remember to respect and appreciate. What do I mean by respect and appreciate? I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but respect and appreciate. So let's say someone in your life, just has a bad day and says some really mean stuff. You can easily like get offended by it. You can let's say you hate that person for saying that. You can't let it go. Holding a grudge. Any of that stuff, right? So essentially, respecting and appreciate is, when somebody says something that doesn't work with you, sometimes the best thing is just to thank them for sharing, and not take it personally, right? Because I believe that when you thank somebody for sharing, you're really just not accepting it, or you're not accepting it, but you're embracing their heart in a way, right? That's actually, I never thought about that. When you thank somebody for sharing, you are not accepting it, but you're embracing their heart in a way. So it's a win-win situation, really. But sometimes people, the third part is kind of interesting, because sometimes people don't want their hearts to be embraced. They might cuss you out for thanking them after they said something mean, But sometimes people might react differently and just kind of be surprised and think, wow, this is really, I've never been in this situation before, where somebody thanked me for calling them a piece of shit, right? I would never call somebody a piece of shit. I'm just saying, just hypothetically. But yeah, there you go. So that's a really deep like the first guideline, man, if the world would practice faith for harmonious family, right, we'd all be striving to not just become happier or happy and to become happier, but we'd also help each other become happy, which is one of the most important things in life, because there's a lot of people that aren't happy but don't know how to become happy, or don't know where to search to become happy. And really, a lot of times it just comes down to one friend reaching out to another friend, one person reaching out to another person, a mother reaching out to their child, a child reaching out to their mother, parent-child connections, friend-to-friend connections. It's just reaching out and adapting those 3 bullet points into our relationships to create a harmonious family. So yeah, wow, this is a long one. I've had a lot to say in this one. I think that's pretty much it. Something I just wanted to share. That's it. Anyhow, hey, thanks for listening. This is about 15 minutes long, I know, but thanks for listening. If you have any comments that you'd like to add, please add them in the comment section below. I would really love to, work on creating more harmonious environments in my life, especially in my family and on YouTube. All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.